It's just gonna be me here alone. Oh, we got some people joining. Bella, look. Got people looking at us. Say hi.
There are crimes that shock the public for a few days and then disappear. And then there are crimes that never leave people's minds. The Chris Watts case became something darker than a headline. It became a symbol of betrayal hiding behind an ordinary smile, a quiet suburban father, a husband who looked calm, polite, harmless, a man who tucked his daughters into bed at night and then murdered his entire family. What terrified people most was not the brutality alone. It was how normal he seemed, because Chris Watts didn't look like a monster. He looked like the guy next door, and for a short time, he almost got away with it.
Tell them you love them.
You love them. We love you.
Say love you.
Candy.
Oh yeah, shoot, that's in here.
I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
I don't want to be in it. Get lower.
Frederick, Colorado. A peaceful suburban town filled with identical houses, trimmed lawns, and quiet streets. The Watts family looked like they belonged in a commercial for the American dream. Chris Watts, his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their two daughters, Bella and Celeste. Online, their life appeared perfect. Birthday parties, matching outfits, family vacations, smiling Facebook videos. Happy children laughing in the background. Shanann documented nearly everything. To viewers online, she seemed energetic, ambitious, and deeply devoted to her family. Chris, on the other hand, was quiet, reserved, soft-spoken, almost emotionally invisible. And that became one of the most disturbing parts of the case later on, because people would go back and re-watch those videos again and again, trying to figure out whether the darkness was already there, trying to spot the moment where the mask slipped. But Chris Watts understood something dangerous. If you appear calm enough, people stop asking questions.
Girls.
Oh, CC
Girls.
Bella.
Okay, you want chocolate? No chocolate? If you want chocolate, you just get this bowl. You want this one, bigger one? We're gonna go.
I love you too.
This is the morning. This is why I love that I thrive.
Objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate, and anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody and have him serve the rest of his life in the Department of Corrections. We are in recess.
Before we continue, if you enjoy deep true crime documentaries like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps support the creation of long-form investigations like this. And if this case shocked you, leave a comment below. What do you think was the moment Chris Watts truly decided to destroy his family? Also, don't forget to like the video. It helps more people discover the channel and supports future documentaries. Now, let's continue.
Hey, guess what, girls? Mommy has a baby in her belly. Are you guys excited? Yes? Are you really excited? Oh my goodness. Come give me hugs. Oh. I love you, girl.
I got the baby a hug.
You want to give the baby a hug? I love you, Bella. You're so sweet. Give me a kiss.
Mommy.
Yes, baby.
In the summer of 2018, Chris Watts started an affair with a coworker named Nickel Kessinger, and suddenly his entire personality changed. He started working out obsessively, losing weight, changing routines, texting constantly, guarding his phone. For the first time in years, Chris felt excitement, freedom, attention, a fantasy life. But there was a problem. That fantasy could not exist while his real family still existed. And instead of choosing divorce, Chris Watts started imagining something far darker. Investigators later discovered disturbing internet searches, how to start a new life, vacation searches, apartment searches, secret messages, deleted texts. Chris was mentally separating himself from his family long before the murders happened, and Shanann could feel it. She told friends he had become cold, emotionally distant, like a stranger living in the house, but she still believed the marriage could be saved. That hope would cost her everything.
Thank you for the birds.
Girls, thank you for the
So
sweet.
Thank you for the food we eat. Thank you for the birds that sing. Thank you, God, for everything. Amen.
Knuckles?
Past 3 months I barely slept because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. We begged the district attorney to spare your life because despite everything, we believe that no one has the right to take the life of another, even someone like you. I feel sorry for your family. I know the pain that they must feel knowing that they can't hug you, because that's how my mother, father, and I feel every time we cry for our family. Nothing hurts more than watching or hearing my family weep for their loved ones. I just wish that I could tell that you would tell the truth, but I know that that is asking for more than you are capable of. I stayed up all night writing this statement. I don't sleep because of you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxiously waiting for this moment, the moment I get to tell you how I feel, how this has affected my family and I. My family and I can finally grieve after today. If anything, we will come out of this stronger today than we were before, and we will continue to pray for your family. Sincerely, Frankie Rusick.
Thank you, Mr. Rusick.
What, Cece? You can hold that.
One of the most horrifying details in the entire case was the drive to the oil site. Chris loaded Shanann's body into his work truck, then placed his daughters inside the vehicle, still alive, still trusting him. For nearly an hour, the children rode beside the body of their murdered mother, and during that drive, Chris Watts had countless chances to stop. He could have confessed, turned around, broken down emotionally, done anything human, but he didn't, because by that point, his family had already become objects in his mind, problems to erase, not people to protect. At the remote Anadarko oil site, Chris murdered Celeste first, then Bella. Bella fought back. According to investigators, she bit her tongue during the attack, and before she died, she reportedly said, "Daddy, no." Those words would haunt the case forever, because they destroyed the final illusion that Chris Watts was emotionally detached only from his wife. No. He fully understood what he was doing, and he did it anyway.
Cece, play patty cake on Daddy's head.
Yeah, she's gripping it right now.
Cece, play patty cake on Daddy's head. Go whack a daddy.
Don't do that, Cece. Don't do it. Sounds kind of hollow.
Whack a daddy. Don't spit.
Don't spit on Daddy, please. Oh, that's a shower.
Careful, Bella, don't fall, okay? Whack a daddy. Whack a daddy. One more time, Daddy. Whack a daddy. Whack.
Position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum death, the sentence is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure,
Can't run.
Now I can hug you. Now I can hug you. Come here. Come here, little girl. Hey. Hey. Airplane. I know.
Before the murders, nobody described Chris as aggressive. No violent criminal history, no public outbursts, no police reports. Friends described him as easygoing. Coworkers called him quiet. Neighbors trusted him. And that is exactly what made him terrifying. Because some predators do not explode with anger. They disappear emotionally first. Chris Watts had an almost unnatural emotional emptiness. Many experts later described him as deeply passive, a man incapable of honest confrontation. Instead of dealing with problems directly, he buried them, silently. And over time, resentment began growing beneath the surface. Financial problems, marital tension, responsibility, a third child on the way. Chris didn't want conflict. He wanted escape, and eventually, he began seeing his own family as obstacles.
There's a wall, kid. Wait, let go of the gas. Watch out, Bella. Mom. Hey guys, good morning, or I know for Colorado people it's good morning, good afternoon for everybody else. I wanted to come here live because today is the big day for the huge, our cocktail party is tonight where Product X is going to be released. We're super excited. We're heading to the pool right now, and then we have a massage today paid for by Lavelle today at 3:30. So Chris and I are super excited. So we're gonna get a massage after we lay by the pool for a little bit and maybe go to the beach again. And then we're going to go to the cocktail party. And we will be live there tonight.
I don't want them to really go in the ocean. I mean,
Ready, set,
Go.
ready, set.
Go.
The pool opens in 2 weeks too.
what's the degrees today?
85 last I checked. 120.
Wow.
No, Cece.
Yeah.
CC, get girl.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? She can climb that fence.
August 13th, 2018. Shanann returned home late from a business trip. She was 15 weeks pregnant, exhausted, emotionally drained. But according to Chris later, that night they had an argument about the affair. What exactly happened inside that bedroom may never be fully known. But investigators believe Chris had already made his decision before Shanann even walked through the door. This was not spontaneous rage. This was elimination. Chris later confessed that he strangled Shanann in their bed. No weapon, no panic, no attempt to save her, just pressure, silence, and death. Then something horrifying happened. Their daughters woke up. Little Bella walked into the room after her mother was already dead. She asked, "What's wrong with Mommy?" Chris lied to her, and from that moment on, the crime became almost impossible to comprehend. Because instead of stopping, he continued.
go have some fun. Get to hear what's coming out. It's absolutely exciting. We're super excited. We'll be back here live shortly, guys. Love you.
I'd like to say to the courts that Shannon, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shannon, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughters Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had from me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is. Because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shannon and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shannon, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shannon says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
So this is addiction palette number 5. She keeps stealing my makeup. I'm telling you, this is why I lose makeup. She just grabbed my lipstick. I'm wearing my LuLaRoe today. Sorry guys, I'm dropping everything because of this child of mine. Hence why I lose makeup, you guys. Bella seriously destroys my girls steal my makeup, and I'm Bella particularly. Bella steals them and breaks them, as you saw her do in action today. But here's my Christmas leggings. Can you see them? I haven't been able to get a picture of them yet because Bella doesn't take good full shot pictures yet. Grinch over here. Bella. We have the Grinch over here. We have the Grinch. We have the Grinch.
What happened next made the case even more disturbing. For nearly 2 days, Chris Watts pretended to be a worried husband. He gave television interviews outside his home, appealing for Shanann and the girls to return, looking directly into cameras, acting calm, too calm. Viewers immediately noticed something strange. No tears, no panic, no desperation, just performance. People online began analyzing every movement, every blink, every smile, and meanwhile, investigators were already seeing contradictions. Shanann's phone was still in the house. Her car was still in the garage. The children's medications were untouched. Nothing suggested a mother voluntarily disappeared with her kids. And then came one critical piece of evidence: the neighbor's surveillance footage. Chris was seen backing his truck into the driveway early that morning, something he never normally did. Investigators watched his body language while the footage played, and for the first time, Chris Watts looked afraid.
I wanted to say thank you for this moment. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has prayed for our beloved family, who had sent gifts, cards to us from all over the world. I know God will put the evil people where they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI, for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannon's neighbor Nathan, and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shannon loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shannon put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was Daddy, You're My Hero. I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's, Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
While Chris was being interrogated, investigators searched the oil site, and soon the horrifying truth emerged. Shanann's body was discovered in a shallow grave. Nearby stood the oil tanks. Inside them were Bella and Celeste. The discovery devastated investigators. Even experienced officers reportedly struggled emotionally at the scene. This was no longer a missing persons case. It was family annihilation, one of the most infamous crimes in modern American history. And the nation became obsessed with one question. Why? Why would a father destroy everything?
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watts. Thank you. I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed today?
Can I read that? I want to start. I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me, and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family in saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. this is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed, they were searching for answers, they were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment. That had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life, the prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle, the families would have been torn apart, this community would have had to subsidize it and endure it, and we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
Yes. If I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief.
I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher, I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Thank you.
Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts, and I am the father of Shannon. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well. And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families. I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I want you to find peace. And today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
After murdering his family, Chris Watts attempted something chillingly mechanical. He buried Shanann in a shallow grave, then forced the bodies of his daughters into separate oil tanks. The openings were only 8 inches wide. Investigators later struggled to comprehend the level of emotional coldness required for such an act. This was not panic. This was methodical disposal. Chris believed the oil would destroy evidence. He believed the remote location would protect him. He believed he could erase his family completely. But what he underestimated was how quickly lies collapse under technology. GPS data, phone records, surveillance cameras, digital timelines. The modern world remembers everything. And Chris Watts had left traces everywhere.
Your Honor, there are no words to adequately describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families. to this community and to all who were a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how. Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives, not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. Shanann was 34 years old. She had married the defendant in November of 2012. Over the weekend leading up to August 13th, she had been at a work conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and returned home in the early morning hours of August 13th. We know that she got home about 1:45 in the morning. The doorbell camera on their home shows her arriving back home from the airport. Shortly thereafter, at least according to the defendant, they had what he referred to as an emotional conversation about the state of their marriage and about what their lives would look like going forward. What was said during that emotional conversation, only he knows. What we do know is that shortly after that, the defendant strangled her to death with his own hands. We know that he slowly took her life the morning of August 13th. We know that this was not done in an uncontrolled, vengeful manner that he tried to describe to agents from CBI and the FBI. If that were the case, you would expect to see vicious, horrible bruising about her neck, shoulders, and face. You would expect to see the hyoid bone in her neck broken. You would expect to see some kind of defensive wounds on his body as she struggled and fought for her own life. None of those are present. The only injuries that were on Shanann's body were one set of finger or bruising, what appeared to be fingernail or finger mark bruising to the right side of her neck. We know that our experts will tell us that it takes 2 to 4 minutes to strangle someone to death manually with their own hands. The horror that she felt as the man that she loved wrapped his hands around her throat and choked the life out of her must have been unimaginable. Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought as their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives. They both died from smothering. Let me say that again. The man seated to my right smothered his daughters. Why? Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. Your Honor, understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life. The frenulum, the connective tissue between her upper lip and her gum, had a 1.5 centimeter laceration. She bit her tongue multiple times before she died. She fought back for her life as her father smothered her. Celeste had no such injuries. In fact, she had no external injuries at all. But according to the medical examiner, she was smothered nonetheless. The defendant then methodically and calmly loaded their bodies into his work truck, not in a hasty or disorganized way. He was seen from the neighbor's doorbell camera backing his truck into the driveway, going back and forth into the house and back out to the truck 3 different times, 1 time for each of their bodies. He then drove them away from their family home 1 final time, intent on hiding any evidence of the crimes that he had just committed. In 1 final sign of callousness for his wife, his daughters, and their unborn son, and their remains, he drove them to a location that he thought no one would ever find them, to one of the oil tank batteries with which he was so familiar. He knew this was safe. He had texted a coworker the night before saying, "I'll head out to that site. I'll take care of it." He had carefully ensured that he would be alone in the middle of the plains to secrete away the remains of his family in a place that he hoped they would never be found. In 1 final measure of disrespect for the family he once had, he ensured that they would not be together, even in death, or so he thought. He disposed of them in different locations. He buried Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave away from the oil tanks. Bella and Celeste were thrown away in the oil tanks at this facility. Different tanks, so these little girls wouldn't be together in death. Imagine this, Your Honor. This defendant took those little girls and put them through a hatch at the top of an oil tank, 8 inches in diameter. Bella had scratches on her left buttocks from being shoved through this hole. A tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of one of these hatches. The defendant told investigators that Bella's tank seemed emptier than CC's because of the sound that the splashes made. These were his daughters. Significantly, when his coworkers arrived at the tank battery later that morning, to a person, they all described him as acting completely normally. It was a normal workday, even while his daughters sank in the oil and water not far away from him. And then his efforts at deception truly began. We've all seen the emotionless interviews that the defendant gives to the local media, asking for help in locating his family. We watched as he claimed that the house was empty without them, and that he hoped that they were somewhere safe, and that he just wanted them to come home. He told investigators that they were at home sleeping when he left for work that morning, and that Shanann had told him that she was taking the girls to a friend's house for the day. What is striking about this case, Your Honor, beyond the horrors that I've already described to you, is the number of collateral victims that he created by his actions. While he stood in front of TV cameras asking for the safe return of his family, scores of law enforcement officers, neighbors, friends and family scoured the area, fretted for their safe return. They texted him begging for any information and sending him their best wishes, all the while he hid what he had done. The list of indirect victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies. Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start, to begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage. He was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And while Shanann took the girls to visit family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums and the sand dunes with his new girlfriend. The stark contrast between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled, presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing. He contacted a realtor to start discussing the selling of his house, and he texted with his girlfriend about their future. None of this answers the questions of why, however. If he was this happy and wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Why did Nico, Celeste, Bella, and Shanann have to lose their lives in order for him to get what he wanted? Your Honor, justice demands the maximum sentence under the agreement reached by the parties. As you will recall, the agreement calls for life sentences as to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and all of those to run consecutively to one another. It also calls for the count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy as to Nico to run consecutively to counts 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest that the extreme aggravation present in the defendant's conduct and in the efforts that I have described mandate that the sentences for counts 7, 8, and 9, the tampering with a deceased human body, each be the maximum of 12 years, and that those sentences run consecutively to one another. It is very clear that each of these acts, that these were not the subject of one act, but each oil tank that he walked up with his daughter's bodies and the hole that he dug for his wife and unborn son mandate a mandatory consecutive sentence. It's been alluded to this morning, but the defendant was certainly eligible for the death penalty in this case under the existing law in the state of Colorado. As you heard, Shanann's family strongly opposed my office seeking the death penalty and being bound to the criminal justice system for the next several decades. That's in large part, as you've heard, why we have reached the agreement that we have. 4 lives were lost at the hands of the defendant on August 13th for reasons that we will never fully understand, nor will we know. In the end, the Rusick family was much more merciful towards him than he was towards his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. Prison for the remainder of his life is exactly where he belongs for murdering his entire family. Thank you.
On August 15th, Chris agreed to take a polygraph test, a decision that would destroy him. During the examination, investigators noticed the same thing everyone else had noticed: emotional emptiness. Chris answered questions calmly, almost casually, but the machine told a different story. After the test, the examiner looked directly at him and said, "You did not pass." The room changed instantly. Chris froze. His mask cracked. Investigators applied pressure carefully, not aggressively, psychologically. They offered him an emotional escape route. Maybe Shanann hurt the children. Maybe he reacted emotionally. Maybe it was an accident. And eventually, Chris broke. But even then, he lied. He falsely claimed Shanann killed the girls first. It was a calculated attempt to reduce his own guilt. Even during confession, he was still manipulating reality. That detail revealed something deeply disturbing about his psychology. Chris Watts cared more about protecting his image than telling the truth, even after murdering his own children.
Good morning, and welcome to be seated. Okay, we are on the record. We are in Division 17 of the Weld County District Court, and we are here regarding Weld County case number 18CR2003, people of the state of Colorado versus Christopher Lee Watts. My name is Marcelo Cuptown, a district court judge here in Weld County, and I will be the presiding judge in this case. If I could please have the lawyers identify themselves for the record, starting with the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Rourke on behalf of the people. Patrick Roach on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, John Walsh on behalf of the defense. Jim Burson on behalf of Mr. Watts. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Rourke, do you want to make a record regarding compliance with the Victims' Rights Act?
Yes, Your Honor. We are in compliance with the Victims' Rights Act. Frank Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' father, is present in the courtroom,
as is Frankie Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' brother. They are in the president of the courtroom, and we have advised them of the purpose of today's hearing and what we expect to occur.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, last week I gave you a limited advisement because charges had not been filed. They have now been filed, so I'm going to give you the full advisement. If at any time you have any questions, please let me know, and welcome also to certainly consult with your attorneys, okay? So, you do not need to make any statements. Any statements you make can be used against you. Do you understand? Yes, sir. You have the right to be represented by counsel, and if you're indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with the public defender before any further proceedings are held. And I see that you've taken advantage of that right. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. You understand? Yes, sir. At this point, I have denied your right to bail, given the charges. You can certainly have a conversation shortly about that issue. You have the right to understand the nature of the charges. We'll go over them in a moment. You have the right to a jury trial. You also have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that the offenses charged were committed by you. Do you understand? Yes, sir. I assume that the defense has received a copy of the complaint and information. Mr. Watts will explain to you what you have been formally charged with and what the possible penalties are. Count 1 alleges that on or about August 13th, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Shanna Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8, and that crime is classified as murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. Do you understand? Count 2 alleges murder in the first degree, also a class 1 felony, and it reads that between and including August 12th, 2018 and August 13th, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Bella Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 3 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony, and specifically it alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Celeste Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection 8. Do you understand? Yes. Count 4 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Bella Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum sentence is death. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, a prosecutor would have to file a written statement of intent to seek the death penalty no later than 63 days after arraignment. Do you understand? If a life imprisonment sentence was imposed, it would be without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Count 6 alleges a Class 2 felony of unlawful termination of pregnancy in the first degree. Specifically, it alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, with the intent to terminate unlawfully the pregnancy of a woman, namely Shanann Watts, feloniously and unlawfully terminated the pregnancy of the woman. Further, the woman died as a result of the unlawful termination of the pregnancy in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3.5-103. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The possible penalties, if convicted for this crime, is a mandatory minimum 16 years in prison up to 48 years in prison, followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 5 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 7 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair it or their appearance or availability in the official proceedings in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Count 8 alleges also tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And finally, count 9 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. With regard to counts 7, 8, and 9, those Class 3 felonies carry a presumptive range of 4 to 12 years in the Colorado Department of Corrections. If there were sufficient mitigating circumstances, the minimum could be as low as 2 years. If there were sufficient aggravating circumstances, as many as 24 years. And any prison sentence would be followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what I've said so far?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merston, has your office filed a written intent to seek a proof evident presumptive free hearing?
Not yet, Judge, but we will be following that. This case will be Mr. Walsh's and Ms. Harold's. They were the attorneys listed on the, I believe, the most recent pleading from the defense.
Okay, thank you. And I would point out, Mr. Watts, that the prosecution also indicated in the complaint and information that these were acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Walsh, what is your request today?
Your Honor, considering that we haven't received any discovery of the case, we're not in a good position at this point to advise the court about what kind of time we'll need My suggestion to the court is that the court allow Mr. Watts to reserve the preliminary hearing in the case, reserve the proof evident hearing, and set the matter for a status conference about 60 days out.
So just to be clear, he is waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days, that he's not seeking a proof evident presumption great hearing prior to the setting of the status conference in about 60 days, but he's reserving his right to have those hearings in the future, but not necessarily within 35 days. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. We've spoken about those issues.
And do you understand what we're talking about, Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that? Okay. And Mr. Rourke, do you have any objection to that request?
No, Your Honor, that seems like the prudent way to proceed at this point.
Okay. Let me give you a date that, how does, so 60 days is about October 20th or so. I have October 11th. Does that date work for the parties? I can go a little bit further if you like as well.
I think a little bit further would make sense, Your Honor. Thank you.
How about November 19th? While we're waiting for lawyers to look, let me make a record that the court's going to find that Mr. Watts is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days. And while he has not asked for a proof evident presumption great hearing yet, I'm told that he will, but he's not requesting that hearing prior to the status conference that we're setting today. Agreed?
Yes. That date works fine with the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I spoke to the Rusiks, and that is fine with the people as well as the witness.
How is late morning on November 19th?
Anytime, Your Honor. Late morning is fine.
Very good. How about 10:30?
That'll work with the people.
And I will be in Division 16. I apologize for the bouncing around of division, but my courtroom obviously is not big enough, and I will keep you updated on where the divisions are going to be, but the next court date will be in Division 16. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that we can address today before us recessing?
I think there are a couple of things outstanding, Your Honor, and first I wanted to address one very ministerial point of clarification with respect to the standing decorum order that the court entered yesterday. By its terms, and when the court defines the applicable areas, that includes my office, specifically the boundaries of the district attorney's office. I just wanted to make a request for clarification that the terms of this order do not apply to the conduct that occurs within my office itself.
Agreed.
Thank you. Otherwise, I have provided a copy of this to the employees of my office, and we will be providing it to law enforcement after this hearing is on.
Thank you. I also intend on issuing a case management order later today, so be on the lookout for that.
I don't know if the court has the desire at this point this morning to address a couple of the other outstanding motions that the public defender's office has filed that we had entered or filed responses to. We have not addressed motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And those are the defense motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And for the record, our responses were C, D, E, and F.
I don't have those motions in front of me, but I know that I issued a number of written orders yesterday. Did you receive those?
I received written orders, but not as it relates to those 4, so perhaps they just haven't reached my desk yet.
If they haven't yet, I will issue a written ruling. We'll be getting them shortly. But I issued a number of orders yesterday.
Your Honor, does that include, I did get the order on motion 5 and motion 7. Does that include motions 2 and 3 then that the court would?
Remind me what 2 and 3 are again?
Motion 2 is the motion to allow confidential defense experts to be present for any testing. And we did have a bit of additional argument on that if the court wanted to hear it. Motion 3 is a motion for a protective order.
I prefer they put it in writing, and then I'll issue a written order with regard to that. Is that something that's time sensitive?
I think it could be, Your Honor. I can't speak for the district attorney, but it could be.
I can tell the court, understanding what Mr. Walsh is referring to in motion number 2, it is not something that is going to occur in the next day or two, so it's not time sensitive in that respect.
So you'll be received, if you want to put something in writing, you're welcome to, and I will issue a written order in a timely manner.
Does the court want to give us a deadline for that?
Sure, when would you like to file a response?
I can have it done in a day or two.
Okay. And so do you have control, Mr. Warren, as to when the testing is going to occur?
Absolutely. I can certainly make clear to our forensic agents that pending the litigation or the receipt of a court order on this, that we will not do any forensic testing.
That'd be great. So did you want to have time to file a reply to the response?
If necessary, if I could have 3 business days to file a response to whatever Mr. Walsh files in the next couple of days, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so Mr. Walsh, do you have something filed by close of business tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so close of business on Monday, Mr. Warren?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll have something to the parties by midweek next week.
Thank you.
Any other issues that we can resolve today?
Not for the people, no.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, we are in recess. Thank you for your time.
People often search for a dramatic explanation, insanity, rage, a psychotic break. But the Watts case was psychologically more disturbing than that. Because Chris Watts was fully aware of his actions. He wanted a new life, a clean slate, no financial pressure, no marriage problems, no responsibilities, no children, no pregnant wife. And instead of facing consequences honestly, he chose annihilation. Experts later described Chris as someone obsessed with avoiding discomfort. A deeply passive man who viewed confrontation as unbearable. Divorce would expose him, publicly embarrass him, damage his image. Murder, in his mind, was simpler, final. That is what makes the case terrifying, not uncontrollable rage, but emotional vacancy.
This matter comes on for a first appearance. Mr. Warren, correct me if I'm wrong, but formal charges have not been filed yet?
That's correct, Your Honor. The defendant was arrested. Formal charges have not been filed. By my calculation, I believe it will be due to the court at 3:30 on Monday.
Thank you. Mr. Mercer, anything you would like to say about that?
Not regarding that issue, thank you.
So the court has reviewed a affidavit in support of a warrantless arrest. The court has found probable cause for the arrest. Specifically, I see that Mr. Watts was arrested for 3 counts of first-degree murder, each a Class 1 felony, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, each a Class 3 felony. Again, these are only charges that are named in the affidavit in support of a warrantless arrest. It's the district attorney's office who will ultimately decide what charges, if any, are going to be filed. And Mr. Mercer, would you like me to advise your client of his rights pursuant to Rule 5?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, Mr. Watts, I would like you to listen carefully to the rights that you have, okay?
Thank you.
And so first, you don't need to make any statements. Any statements you make can and may be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to counsel. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you are indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with a public defender before any further proceedings are held. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merson is the head of the public defender's office, and he is going to represent you today and potentially in the future. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right now, charges have not been filed, so this is a limited advisement. I intend to bring you back next week once formal charges are filed on Monday, so I can give you a full advisement. But I will tell you that at this point, the court is not authorizing any bail. Once I know what the official charges are that are filed by the district attorney's office, I'll inform you the nature of the charges. If charges are filed, you have the right to a jury trial, and you have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that you committed any of the charges that are filed by the district attorney's office. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I believe that your lawyer has filed about 16 or so motions on your behalf, including a request for a preliminary hearing. Do you agree, Mr. Merson, that that time period, that 35 days to have a preliminary hearing, doesn't begin until your client appears in court next week once formal charges are filed?
I agree.
And I have not seen, correct me if I'm wrong, a proof positive, presumptive, great written motion by your office.
Not at this point, Judge.
Okay. Okay. And so would you like me to further advise your client of any additional rights?
No, thank you.
Mr. Rourke, what kind of conditions, if any, are you requesting for the protection order given the circumstances?
Judge, I'm going to defer to Mr. Wren.
Mr. Wren?
People are simply asking for the standard protection order under Title 18 at this point, given the deceased nature of the victims.
And I assume based on the no bond hold, the issue of possessing or having access to or control over a firearm or any ammunition is a non-issue until and if bond is authorized.
That's correct.
Thank you. So, Mr. Watts, I am going to issue a protection order pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes 18-1-1001. It's going to state that you not harass, molest, intimidate, retaliate against any witness involved in this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
If you were to violate the mandatory protection order, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And could we talk about some of them? I realize that things are happening very quickly. Motions were filed today. There hasn't been a lot of time to object or to file responses. Mr. Merson has filed a number of motions, some of which potentially may be time sensitive. My intention is for the parties to come back to court next Tuesday so I could advise Mr. Watts of his formal charges that are filed no later than 3:30 on Monday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be requiring the prosecutor to file a response between now and Tuesday, or whether we can resolve some of these issues now. For example, the preservation of certain evidence, like police notes, handwritten notes, like touch DNA evidence, things of that nature.
Your Honor, I think we can address some of these pretty quickly, but certainly not all of them. We would be asking for time to file a written response to some of them.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the time that elapses between now and Tuesday, and I want to make sure that the evidence that's being requested to be preserved is preserved.
Understood.
So, for example, can you, any objection for me to order that all law enforcement, both state and federal, that were involved in this case, preserve their handwritten notes? Any objection to that?
No.
So I will grant that request. Did you read Mr. Merson's motion with regard to touch DNA?
I believe that was filed under seal, and I have not seen it.
It was suppressed, so they should have had access to it.
Gail, Christy, could we print out a copy for Mr. Red? Again, I appreciate the fact that this happened very quickly, and so let me get you a copy of that, a hard copy of that, and then you can review it and let me know what your thoughts are. Is there an autopsy that's scheduled to be conducted in the near future?
Not yet.
It was a
16.
16?
Yes.
While we're waiting, Mr. Merson, I noticed that...
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. It was D17.
D17?
Yeah, sorry.
So I see that your motions are numbered, but I'm missing 9 through 15.
Yeah, I basically counted them and then started off. There were some other people in my office that had filed those other pleadings and not numbered them.
I just want to make sure I'm not missing something.
I don't think you are. I think many of them concern the media issue. On the way over here, the deputies advised the court had already ruled on that. So to a certain extent, some of that is moot. But if we are going to take a D17, in light of the fact that the affidavit is still sealed, I would ask that the court seal the courtroom and just allow the parties to argue that, because it will require me to talk about information in the affidavit.
Well, why don't we give Mr. Wren an opportunity and let me know whether, without talking about the substance, whether he has an objection or not. It's really more of putting the prosecution on notice than anything else. Why don't you read it first, let me know what you think. You can give it to the prosecution.
Steve.
Extra.
Well, I might. It was one of the...
So, I did add the house to this, so the D17 will have the house on it as well. But that's the gist of it. At this point, I'm concerned about whether or not Sonata has been released by law enforcement. Okay, when was that? Late last night. Okay, alright. That's because that part of the motion would be moved at this point. Mostly concerns what's in this motion. So, okay.
If I could take a moment to read this.
Mr. Mercer, anything on the associated? Mr. Ring.
Thank you.
I'm okay with continuing it. I just don't want there to be any time-sensitive issues between now and next Tuesday that we should have handled today.
I think we need to address it today. As I indicated, Judge, at this point, there's not an autopsy scheduled or autopsies. I don't know when that might happen. I don't know if it would happen before Tuesday or not. With respect to this motion, and does the court want to address Mr. Mercer's concerns about clearing the courtroom, given the sealed nature of this, or may I speak briefly?
Well, it was I think it's based on the sealing of the affidavit in support of the warrantless arrest, and so it was your motion to seal. So if you think the reasons why you requested the affidavit to be sealed are going to be compromised, we could do this in camera. If you believe it's not, then we can talk about it publicly.
I'm not worried about the compromising nature of the affidavit. I will tell the court and make a record that the prosecution has provided Mr. Mercer with a copy of the affidavit, despite the fact that it was sealed to the public.
I am concerned about this being discussed in a non-in-camera setting. My concerns revolve around the issues I brought up and the objections to expanded media coverage. It's an ongoing investigation at this point. I have concerns about, what would be discussed and how that would implicate Mr. Watts' right to a fair trial and his due process right. So my request is that the court seal the courtroom so we can discuss this.
Mr. Ray?
Move that to the discretion of the court.
It seems to me, based on everything I've heard, that the affidavit is going to be released at some point. It was the prosecution who requested the sealing of the affidavit. They're not concerned about this being compromised, the investigation being compromised. And so I think we can talk about this publicly. Mr. Wright?
And when you say talk about this, are we still talking about
yes.
D17,
yes.
Which was also filed under seal?
Yes.
So with respect to paragraph number 3, Judge, our concerns relate to the way this is worded. As the court knows, the pathologist goes through a very extensive process when conducting an autopsy, much of which is governed by statute. I think most of what he's asking for is standard procedure for an autopsy conducted in this jurisdiction and would be done. However, I have concerns about the way this is phrased in that it orders collection of trace DNA and touch DNA from certain areas of bodies that at this point we don't even have, frankly. Second, we don't know if that trace DNA is going to even exist if we have the bodies. So there's no way to order us to find something that may or may not exist.
I think when I read the motion, it essentially is putting the prosecution on notice that at some point they may be in possession of exculpatory evidence, and it's their duty to make reasonable efforts to preserve that and ultimately provide that to the defense. And so I think they're on notice by the mere fact that we're talking about this, that Mr. Wren got a copy of the motion, and if this becomes an issue later on, we can litigate this, and there's some pretty significant sanctions for the destruction of exculpatory evidence. Okay, so that will be the ruling of the court.
Your Honor, may I ask one clarifying question? Because the way that the motion is titled talks about the collection of touch or trace DNA at 2825 Saratoga Trail as well as during the autopsy, but the body of the motion does not. I want to make sure that Mr. Merson is aware that the home where the homicides were alleged to have occurred has been released by law enforcement, was released as of about midnight last night. So even as we stand today, we are not in a position to be able to go back in and collect trace DNA from that home. So I just want to make clear that the ruling of the court does not require us to do anything affirmative with respect to the home.
And Mr. Wren advised me that the government is no longer in control of the home, so I'm aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With regard to the motion for protective order, essentially for nobody to speak to Mr. Watts other than his attorneys and investigators and support staff, I'm assuming there's no objection to that?
Correct.
You'll put law enforcement on notice on that issue?
Yes.
Okay. Any other time-sensitive issues that cannot wait until next Tuesday?
Nothing from the beginning.
Mr. Merson?
Can I just have 1 second?
Sure.
Nothing further. Thanks, Judge.
Okay, and I would just respectfully ask that if you file anything between now and next Tuesday, and certainly into the future, if you could advise your office of this, if there's more than one lawyer working on it, please number every pleading that's filed, and for the prosecution as well, maybe you can use letters. And that way I know that I'm not missing something. That would be wonderful. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see. Let's pick a time next Tuesday. I know everybody's really busy. I just had some time open up. And so what's a convenient time for everybody to be here? I'm also going to be asking if there's victim rights compliance today and see if there's a more convenient time for whoever the victim rights representative is.
You know, we have been in communication with the family of the victims. We are in VRA compliance for that, based on that effort. At this point, we don't have any specific times that are good or bad for the family, but we will certainly contact them as soon as we leave and clarify their availability for next Tuesday.
How about the attorneys? What's a good time for you to be here on Tuesday?
Anytime, Judge. I'll make it work.
The motion's hearing in Division 12 at 2 o'clock. That'll probably last an hour. Otherwise, I'm free.
About 10 o'clock.
That's fine.
Okay. So the plan is next Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we're going to know whether the prosecution filed formal charges or not, and the deadline for that would be Monday at 3:30. I will give Mr. Watts a more detailed advisement, and then we'll decide what the next step is going to be. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, one more thing.
Yes.
I would just ask the court order that the prosecution give the defense notice as to if an autopsy is to be scheduled, when that is scheduled, so that we can file the appropriate motions. I think you can appreciate why we would want notice of that.
Yes. Any objection to that?
Not as to the notice issue.
Yeah, I'm not going to be ordering that they, at this point, I'm not ordering that they be allowed to be present during the autopsy. Why don't we say 48 hours notice? Is that reasonable?
Yes, and if I learn that information over the weekend, I'll email Mr. Mercer.
Okay with you, Mr. Mercer?
That's fine, thank you.
They wouldn't do the autopsy over the weekend, though, would they?
No, I don't believe so.
They would?
They're going to try to get it done soon. So 48 hours is probably not going to give them. Could they make their decision?
We've all certainly seen autopsies scheduled less than 48 hours after the bodies are recovered. So we will do our best to comply with the notice requirements as soon as we learn the information.
Who would be making the decision on when to perform an autopsy?
The coroner's office.
So can you communicate with them that there's an order that there would be 48 hours notice, and if they, for whatever reason, can't comply with that, you'll let Mr. Mercer know?
Is the court ordering that the autopsy not be conducted earlier than 48 hours after the recovery of the bodies?
No.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I'm ordering that you notify the coroner that there's an order that Mr. Mercer is entitled to 48 hours notice, and if they are intending to perform the autopsy sooner than that, they need to let you know before it starts so you can give Mr. Mercer reasonable notice.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you can think of between now and next Tuesday that we can resolve today?
Nothing from the prosecution.
Nothing from the defense, thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock when we are at this court.
Psychologists still debate the true nature of Chris Watts. Was he a narcissist, a sociopath, a covert psychopath? Whatever label people choose, several traits stand out clearly. Emotional detachment, extreme passivity, image obsession, conflict avoidance. Chris wanted life to feel easy, and when reality became emotionally uncomfortable, he attempted to erase reality itself. That is why the case still fascinates people, because Chris Watts doesn't resemble the stereotypical movie monster. He resembles ordinary people, and that forces society to confront an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the most dangerous individuals are the ones nobody notices. The Watts case exploded across the internet unlike almost any crime before it, because so much of the family's life already existed online. Facebook videos, photos, text messages, body cam footage, interrogation footage. The public watched the story unfold almost in real time. And millions became obsessed. People analyzed Chris's behavior frame by frame, studied his body language, his speech patterns, his fake television interviews. True crime channels exploded in popularity. Documentaries followed. The case became digital mythology. But something darker happened too. Some people started blaming Shanann, calling her controlling, overbearing, manipulative. Victim blaming spread across social media. Meanwhile, others became fascinated with Chris himself. Some women even sent him romantic letters in prison, which revealed another disturbing truth. Infamy attracts attention. Even evil becomes entertainment online. And for Shanann's family, that became a second nightmare, because their grief had become content. Months later, Chris Watts gave a full prison confession, and it horrified even seasoned investigators. He described the murders in cold detail, the drive to the oil field, Bella watching, the children asking questions, the final moments. Investigators remained silent while he spoke. No dramatic reactions, no yelling, just horror hanging in the room. Because the confession revealed something unmistakable. Chris Watts did not snap. He made choices, repeatedly, step after step, decision after decision. and every opportunity to stop was ignored. Years later, the Watts case still dominates true crime discussions because it forces people to confront terrifying questions. How well do we truly know the people closest to us? Can evil exist behind ordinary smiles? Can someone live a double life so convincingly that even family members never see it? Chris Watts became the face of hidden annihilation, not because he looked frightening, but because he didn't. And maybe that is why this case never disappears, because people keep searching for the warning signs, the moment they would have noticed something was wrong, the clue that could explain everything. But maybe the most disturbing answer is this: there was no dramatic mask, no secret second personality. Chris Watts was not pretending to be normal to many people around him. He genuinely was normal until he decided his family no longer fit the life he wanted. And that realization is more frightening than any horror movie, because monsters are easy to fear, ordinary people are not. And Chris Watts looked ordinary right up until the end. As years passed, many people began pushing back against how the internet reduced Shanann to the victim, because she was far more than that. She was ambitious, driven, emotional, protective of her children. She fought through illness, built a business, tried desperately to hold her family together. Even in her final days, she was texting friends about saving her marriage, trying to understand what happened to her husband emotionally. She believed honesty could repair things, but she never realized she was living beside someone who had already emotionally abandoned the family completely. And perhaps the cruelest part of the entire story is that Shanann died still trying to save the relationship. The Watts family home still stands in Colorado, quiet, empty, famous. For years, people drove past it taking photos. Tourists treated it like a crime landmark. Neighbors avoided discussing it. The house became something symbolic, a perfect suburban facade hiding catastrophic darkness. And in many ways, that image perfectly represents the entire case. Because Chris Watts spent years pretending to be normal, pretending to be loving, pretending to be harmless, until one night the performance ended. The public often focuses on Chris, but the true emotional center of this case has always been the children, Bella and Celeste. Bella was thoughtful and observant. Cece was energetic and fearless. Their videos still exist online today, laughing, singing, playing, completely unaware of what was coming. And that innocence is what continues haunting people years later, because children naturally trust their parents completely. Bella trusted her father until the very end, and he betrayed that trust in the worst possible way imaginable. Shanann, Bella, Celeste, Nico. 4 lives erased by one man's selfish fantasy of starting over. This case is not remembered because of mystery. It is remembered because of betrayal, because a father became the danger, because a husband became the executioner, and because behind smiling family photos, there was already a man emotionally disappearing long before the murders began. The internet may continue replaying the footage forever, but behind every video clip, every documentary, every interrogation analysis, there was a real family, and they deserve better.
So I brought Graham in here because we want to talk to you about the results, okay?
Okay.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that. And then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened. So can you start from the beginning and tell us what happened?
Everything that I've told you, I did not lie on this polygraph. I don't know how much I could tell you right now. Like, I did not.
It's not even an option right now because you did not pass the polygraph. So I know you were being deceptive. So that's not even an issue right now. The issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. That's the issue right now.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about that. I know you want to tell us. I can see it in your face. Holding this lie in is going to do nothing for you.
I know this. Like,
okay.
I'm not like trying to like cover things up. Like,
yeah, but you kind of are because it's normal. Normal people would do that. Normal people that make a mistake initially are going to go, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. That's normal. I would expect that. It's just like if you ask your kid, you know, did you write on the wall? And they go, no. And you're like, you have a marker on your hand. Like, I know you just wrote on the wall. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a natural reaction that someone's going to initially lie about something like that and then eventually tell the truth. So this is your eventually telling the truth time. This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
I'm not trying to make anything continue. Like, I want them back home, like.
But you know they're not coming back home. You know that.
I don't know in the back of my head. I hope they come back home.
But you know they're not.
I hope they come back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know they're not coming back home.
Chris, Tammy and I are confused, okay? And here's what we're confused about. I told you that we've done some work overnight.
Yeah.
I told you that we've got a lot of leads, okay? That wasn't a lie.
I know.
We know a lot more than you think we do, okay? And here's where we're confused. You're this great guy, and I'm not just telling you that, okay? I'm telling you that because everyone tells us that, okay? We can't find anyone to say anything bad about you. Chris is a great guy. He's a good father. He's a good man. We're confused as to why you're not taking care of your beautiful children.
I'm not taking care of them right now?
Right now. Where are they?
I don't know where they're at. Honestly, I do not know where they are at. If I could have my babies back home right now, I would. I want them back. I want everybody back. That is the God's honest truth.
So let's keep talking about your family, okay? We just can't figure out why there's two Chris's, okay? We talked about that last night.
Yes.
We just can't figure it out. There's a Chris, okay? If somebody asked me my kid's child routine, I would say, I don't know, go ask their mom. That's the truth, right? And so it is very surprising to me, and it warms my heart that you're the type of dad who can pack a bag in the morning and you know just what to put in there, and you know just what to put in there as a backup in case they have an accident, okay? You know what the clothes to put in there, you know what they have for breakfast, you know what they have for a snack and a dinner and a nighttime snack. You can tell me the book you read to your daughters, okay? I know you love them. And you're not faking that, are you? It's real, okay? There's a lot of guys who come in here and try to tell me that, and I know they're lying, okay? Because they can't answer those questions that you can answer, okay? But you are here today lying about something else. So we need to talk about that, okay?
I cheated on her.
I know. And this is very good. Keep
I'm not proud of it. I didn't think anything like that could happen. I didn't think I'd ever do it, but I did.
I know. Keep going.
And she accused me of it. I denied it. I cheated on her, and I feel horrible for it. Like, she was pregnant, and it was, I don't want to, I didn't hurt her. I cheated on her. I hurt her emotionally. I cheated on her. And I feel absolutely horrible about this, but that's what I've been holding. When I didn't go to the Rocky game, I was with her.
Okay.
I went to dinner with her.
Okay. Keep going.
That 5 weeks I was alone, I was with her most of the time.
Okay. You're doing a good job. This is the Chris that I knew would come out today. This is the Chris who tells the truth, because you're a truth teller.
When I tell you I fell out of love, it's because I fell in love with her.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, that's God's honest truth.
Okay. Who is her?
So I don't want to get her involved in this. I don't want to ruin her life. Like, if something like this, I don't want her involved in this.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
I knew that you would say you didn't want to get her involved. Because you'd like to take care of people.
She's a wonderful person. Like, I mean, she knew I was married, yes. And I told her we were going through the issues, yes.
Yes.
And I told her that, we were going to get, at the end, like, you're going to get separated. Like, once I figured out what that was, I didn't know what that was going to be.
I know.
I had no idea. I saw her, took my breath away, and I'd never thought in a million years that could happen.
I know.
I know you think I'm a figure, but it was, I never felt that way about anybody in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Chris, that's not your fault.
No, I'm just.
Can we do this? I know you want to take care of her it's because you're the type of guy who takes care of women. It is. You took care of your wife, you took care of your daughters, you were very good at taking care of her, and you want to take care of her. So can we make a deal? I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody, but I can't walk out of here wondering. So can we leave her out of it?
Okay.
Get back to your wife and your daughters.
Okay.
Where are they?
That I do not know. That was what I was holding back. Like, I didn't know, what I did. I know.
Chris, in an interview today, you weren't asked about infidelity. You were asked about...
I was holding back from last night.
That's not why you failed today.
That's not how that works. You would have reactions to every single question, not just the ones that we talked about being important.
Like the ones you wanted me to lie about, is that what you're talking about?
No, the ones about her disappearance and knowing where she's at, and about seeing her last.
I was not lying about those things. So
can I tell you what I think?
Yes.
Okay. So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki. Okay? All about her. And you're doing a very good job right now, because you didn't have to tell us about her, but you did.
I couldn't hold that in anymore.
I know. We could see it on your chest and in your eyes. Okay? Here's the challenge that we have. We knew about Nikki, and so we didn't need to ask you about her in the polygraph. We just didn't need to, because we knew, okay? And so, that's why we didn't ask you, because we already knew the answer, okay? We're very, very worried about your daughters and your wife.
I am too.
Okay? So can I tell you, maybe, based on the people that I've talked to, and Tammy's talked to, based on all the investigations we've done, based on your cell phone, both your cell phones, your wife's cell phone, Nikki's cell phone, okay? Based on talking with family members and friends, and based on talking with everyone, here's what we know, okay? And I'm not going to lie to you right now, here's what we know, okay? Chris is a good man. Everyone said it. Okay, I'm not just telling you that because I, want to blow smoke here. You're a good man. Okay? Nobody can fake answers about packing a backpack. Nobody. You either pack a backpack for your kids or you don't. Okay? This should have been the happiest time of your marriage. Okay? You and Shanann. This should have been the happiest time. She's making a little money. She's making good money. You're making great money. You both have a job. You have beautiful kids. You have a beautiful house. You're in Colorado. Clean air, good people. Okay? And on top of that, you look pretty good now. You're pretty fit. Okay? This should have been a time in your marriage where you guys were happy and thriving and productive. Okay? And I believe that Shanann's the reason none of that happened. I believe that she's a controlling person. Maybe doesn't listen to you as much as she should. I think that she can do whatever she wants and you can't. Okay? I think if you were to go to a restaurant, she would order whatever the hell she wants. And as soon as you order a nice steak, she says, whoa, buddy. Okay? A woman that lets her man do all of the backpack packing and all of the cooking.
I'll do all the cooking, but she cooks I do some things here and there.
Okay. That's because you're a good person, and I think that she started on the path to leave the marriage. Okay? It's ironic that we're talking about you and Nikki. I think that she was the one who started on that path first. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have thought about that.
Okay. And the other thing I think is interesting is, even though she is that type of person that's controlling, doesn't listen, does what she wants, is walking away from her kids, here you are defending her. Because to your core, you want to take care of the people you love. Okay. And that's the reason why we want to give you an opportunity today to just help us find them. Okay? Will you do that for us?
I'll do whatever I can to help to find where they're at.
Okay. So when she asked you, do you know where they are, or are you going to tell the truth about where they are, you failed miserably.
Okay.
Why?
I'm a nervous person. Like every question I asked, every question, it felt like I wouldn't say the right thing.
That's not how the polygraph works.
I don't know what it reads like. I know she was saying about the autonomy of the process, but I don't know where they're at.
Chris, right now your dad's outside. He flew across the country to help you. Okay? You're lying to him. You lied to everyone you talked to. And they all bought it. Will you please help us find your babies?
I want to find them. I've told you over and over, I want to find everyone.
Can we go back to that night?
Yeah.
You know that we have texts, and we know that there's an Alexa in your house, and you know that those are trained to record distress.
Okay.
You know that we know the content of Nikki's text messages and your text messages and Shanann's text messages. Okay?
I didn't know you knew who Nikki was until right now, so.
Okay. Tell us about that night again, and please tell the truth this time.
I told you the truth. I promise I've told you the truth. We woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock.
got dressed, got ready. 4:15, me and she didn't talk. About the house, about separation.
Did you guys talk about Nikki?
She accused me of like, all right, well, you know, is there somebody else?
Sure.
I didn't say it.
You denied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she brought up like, you know, like, well, was there a $68 charge on dinner the other night?
Okay.
Was there two of you?
And that was with two of you, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Nikki.
Okay, so it sounds like at that time there was maybe you weren't quite ready to just say, man, this is everything.
I couldn't say it.
Okay.
We were already crying hard enough. I couldn't say that.
Okay. What did you say?
I just told her like, this separation has to go. I want separation.
Okay. Was it her idea to sell the house or yours?
She initiated the realtor the week before in an email.
Why?
Because we were talking about the marital issues. She's like, well, you can't afford to live on her own. Well, she can't afford to live on her own, and I can't afford to live on my own. So she's like, we need to just contact Ann and see.
And who'd you contact?
Well, she contacted Ann, our realtor.
Ann?
Yeah.
Okay. Would Ann say the same thing, that your wife initiated the contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
She would. And then on Monday, I texted her to see if what she could do.
Okay.
And that's in there too. You probably already knew that.
Tell me about the pregnancy. Was that your idea or hers?
She said she was about 80-20. Well, when we did the pros and cons of it, like after she got pregnant, she told everybody that it was mainly my idea.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a boy.
Did you want to get pregnant?
Hmm?
Okay.
And then after the fact, she said it was mainly me that wanted it, and she was about, you know, she was 70-30 against it at that point. Like, she would tell her friends that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what, 70-30 against it? Like, why?
Okay. Can you understand that some of this just doesn't make sense to us? Okay. How is it possible that a woman and two kids are just completely gone off the face of the earth?
I promise you, I have nothing on my hands I did nothing to those kids or her to make them vanish.
So tell me what happened then. I believe you that you did nothing on your hands. What happened?
When I left, I mean, it's on video that I left and I was in my truck. I didn't like load anything into my truck besides my tools, my container, my book bag, my water jug, my lunchbox.
Okay. But then what happened?
I drove out of the driveway.
No, before you drove out of the driveway. What happened with your wife and your kids?
I didn't do anything with them. They were still in the house.
Where are they? Where did they go?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
Your wife's not the type of person to vanish.
I know she's not.
She had 10 things on her schedule that meant she was going to be there the next day, that day, the day after that, with friends, with a doctor. Okay? She didn't leave because she wanted to.
Okay.
So what happened?
I didn't do anything to her or the kids.
Was it an accident?
I didn't do anything.
Was it an accident?
There was no accident. I don't know if there was an accident in the house. I wasn't there for it.
It's a big deal if it's an accident, because we can work with that, Chris.
No.
And I think that's maybe what happened.
I did not cause an accident. I didn't do anything to my wife and kids.
Was it a misunderstanding?
There's no misunderstanding. Like, we had that talk. There was a misunderstanding where I didn't tell her about the affair.
Okay.
I didn't. That was the misunderstanding.
Like, miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Good.
But I probably should have told her right then, honestly. I mean, everything was out on the table anyways.
Right.
I should have just told her right then. But I didn't, because I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
What was your plan? What were you going to do? I mean, how was the separation going to work?
Like, once we got separated, I would get my own place, and then 50-50 split with the kids, I was hoping.
Mm-hmm. And what about Nikki?
take it slow and just see if, you know, if anything develops, like, when I'm, you know, at my own place.
Okay.
I just find it hard to hear you talk about just having this emotional, you know, conversation with Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls, and you have not shed one tear over them not being around. Chris, I lose my 4-year-old in the store for 10 seconds, and I start to go panic. Panic. I have not seen any of that from you at all. Help me understand that.
I love those girls. I would never do anything just because I haven't shed a tear. Like, you get
no, that's weird. Is that weird?
Don't look into that like I don't love my kids.
Well, tell me,
I love my wife.
explain to me. You're crying with your wife that you're leaving her.
Yeah.
But you don't cry that your 2 little baby girls.
I'm hoping they're still around somewhere. I'm hoping they're still somewhere.
Yeah, but you
alive.
don't have them right now. You're not reading stories to them at night.
I know.
You're not giving them midnight snacks. You're not giving them their medicine. You're not waking up with them in the morning.
I know this.
So that should cause you pain.
It does cause me pain.
But I don't see that. I don't see that. I want to see the Chris that cares. I want to see the Chris that, you know, feels bad about what he did and wants to, you know, get this off his chest and be done with this. And let us find your little girls so that they're not out there in the middle of a field or whatever somewhere. Like, don't do that.
I love those girls to death.
Then show us that. Show us that. Show us this Chris, not this Chris.
I'm not showing you that Chris. I'm showing you the Chris that cares about his girls and his wife. Just because I haven't shed a tear, it shouldn't make you feel like that the love isn't there for them.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense to me.
I understand that.
You have to.
I totally see where you're coming from. Trust me, like, there's nothing. Just because
Chris, people can be pushed to the point where they do something that they regret. It happens every single day.
I know.
But part of what makes you a man is the guy that goes, I really fucked up, but this is what I did, and I'm going to pay for what I did, and I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to be honest about it.
Chris, we can keep talking to you once we find these girls, okay? So once we find these girls and your wife, right, no matter how we find them, no matter what condition they're in, we can keep talking to you, and you can tell us, guys, it's not as bad as it looks. And you can say, let me tell you what happened. I was never comfortable with you, Graham, or with you, Tam. No, I wasn't comfortable yet, but now that everything's known, now that these girls are found and Shanann's found, however they're found, it's okay. We can keep talking to you. Okay?
Chris, did Shanann do something to them?
No, I don't know.
I'm serious.
I have no clue.
No, you would have known, because they didn't leave the house. Did Shanann do something to them, and then did you feel like you had to do something to Shanann?
No, they were at the house when I left. They were there.
They weren't there. They didn't leave. They vanished.
They were
The
there.
only way they could have left is in your truck.
There's no way, because, like, I didn't just throw them in my truck.
You know your truck has GPS,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Because you told your boss, like, hey, I'm going to separation, or maybe staying at a friend's house, whatever. You know that thing pings every 10 seconds?
Yep.
So we will know exactly where you went.
And your company's giving that to us.
I know.
Okay. Are we not asking the right questions, Chris?
No, you're asking all the questions.
What are we not asking you right? What are we doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Did Shanann do something?
If she did anything to these kids, we both love them with all our hearts. There's no way.
It could have been an accident. Something happened in the house that you know about. You failed the polygraph test, Chris. This is not about did you leave and your wife vanished and you didn't know anything about it? That was not what you were asked, okay?
Okay.
We know that something happened to all three of them. But I want to know, did something happen to these baby girls first that you had to take into your own hands and deal with?
You had to clean it up for Shanann.
Chris, you gotta tell us. There's something that happened to these baby girls. Look at them.
I know. Before you came in, I was just watching videos.
We have no doubt you love these girls with all of your heart. I have no doubt. But we make mistakes.
And that's okay.
It's what we do with those mistakes that make us who we are.
Chris, it seems like you're thinking about it right now. What are you thinking about?
She couldn't have.
I feel like you cleaned up for her. I feel like that's the type of guy that you are. Which one of these has the breathing thing?
Well, they both have inhalers, but Cece has the EOE. Encephalitis esophagitis.
Did she have problems breathing?
Only like with her allergies and whatnot, like if she had anything next, but she's one with the endoscopies and everything and the surgeries I told you about.
Do you think she had trouble breathing that night? And Shanann freaked out? And didn't want to live without her baby girl?
I don't think so.
Did you hear about the homicide that happened in Aurora, where the guy beat that family to death with a ball-peen hammer? The only person that survived was a 3-year-old sibling. And that sibling grew up to be a total mess. No family, no mom and dad, no brother or sister, just her by herself. She says, I wish I would have died with them. And there are times that people freak out. I've seen it. I mean, I've been in law enforcement for almost 20 years. I've seen it. Parents freak out and they're like, oh my God, like, I can't have my baby girls live without each other. They're best friends. They're like twins. They're, you know, they wake each other up in the morning. And I understand that. We had a mom in Castle Rock that suffocated both her baby girls. She's like, my husband was gonna take them, and she's like, I just couldn't handle. I thought I was doing right by them. I thought I was saving them pain. And I get it.
Why? How's she saving the pain?
Because she didn't want them to have to live without their mom.
Chris, this is a weight that's going to be on you for the rest of your life until we resolve it tonight. Unless we can talk about this more tonight, this is going to follow you forever. I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. I know you already feel better about getting the Nikki off your chest.
Please don't like involve her in the news or anything like that. She can't do that.
You gotta help me.
I know.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Did they look like this tonight, the last night you were with them?
She had that dress on, like, on the 8th or 9th. It wasn't in this, but she had that dress on. I remember I had 2 buttons on the back. I'd take them off so I'd get her pajamas on that night.
Did you guys make sure that they were warm when they left the house?
Make sure they were warm. They're always warm. They always have, when they're in their beds, they're always warm.
Okay. Were you guys taking care of him at the very end?
They're always taken care of. They never miss a meal.
Chris, you took them out of the house with their blankets and their animals. Like, that's because you cared. That's what a caring dad does.
I mean, I'm always caring for these kids. There's nothing in this or my life.
I believe that. I believe that, and I believe someone made a mistake, whether it was you or Shanann. And you either cleaned up after Shanann or you made the mistake, and I mean, I want to believe that maybe Shanann did it and you felt compelled to fix this so Shanann didn't look bad. That's what I want to believe. But I don't know, you're not telling me that, so it makes me think the worst. Like, did you do that to all three of them?
I did not do anything to these kids. Not do anything.
What did Shanann do to them? Tell us, Chris. Chicks are crazy.
Can I talk to my dad or something?
Absolutely.
Come.
Do you want to bring him in here?
No, I just can't talk to my dad. Like, he flew across the country.
Hey, Chris,
I can't.
how about this? If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened?
Can I just go talk to him? I've been in here for like 5-6 hours and I'm like...
Absolutely. Chris, look at me, man. It's not going to feel any better. He deserves an answer.
It's your best friend.
There's only one person you wanted here most, and that's your dad.
Yes.
What would you tell him?
I love him, and I just want him to be by my side.
Okay. He knows more than we do that you're a good man. And he knows as much as you want to protect your wife, Shana. I think he would tell you to do the right thing. Before we get him...
Can I go out there and talk to him?
Well, I don't know that you want to do it out there, because there's a lot of people going through the halls. Should we bring him in here?
We'll step out. Okay?
Can you give minutes with him? Okay. Can we just ask a couple more questions? It seems like you're about to get it off your chest. Is there any way that you can help us understand more about Shanann and why maybe something happened, so that we don't get a bad picture about her? And what I mean is, what happened that night with her?
As far as like after I talked to her?
With the girls.
Like when we were having that conversation in bed there?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talked to her about the separation and the house, and she asked me about the affair, and that's how that conversation went.
Okay.
She was distraught. She had like mascara on down her face, all that. I mean, it was emotional.
Well, how about this? If we bring in your dad, will you promise me that you'll talk to him?
I'll talk to him.
Okay. Will you promise me that you'll tell him everything? Would it be easier if you told him and he told us?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if that's going to be easier or not. I tend to think it's not. I think you're the type of guy that needs to take responsibility, because you always have taken responsibility. You've always made the right choice. So, I guess I'm just worried that if we bring your dad in here, that could distract you. What do you think?
Distract me from like talking to you?
Yeah.
I just need to talk to him.
Okay. All right. I know you'll do the right thing. I do. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think that you need to think a little bit more about that. Okay?
And you need to realize that your dad is not going to stop loving you no matter what you tell him. You are his child, and he will not stop loving you.
Never.
Ever.
And this is not the last chapter in anyone's story. At all. Okay? He's been here the whole time. You know, he didn't want to leave you. Have you ever seen, sometimes when an animal's owner dies, they stick around forever? I think that's your dad. Poor guy didn't want to leave today, okay? So, keep that in mind. He wants to hear it all. Polygraph failed it. Yeah, because there's too much emotions. So I mean, they're not gonna let me go.
Is there any reason why they shouldn't?
They know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on, or what happened, or anything? Or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was, it was emotional. It was told her about separation and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. What happened after that?
I mean, I went downstairs and I don't want to protect her.
What?
I don't want to protect her.
You don't want to protect her?
I don't know what else to say.
What happened? Huh? She hurt him?
Yeah. And then I freaked out.
What now?
I freaked out and I hurt her.
You hurt her? Did they leave after that, or what? So she started hurting the kids.
They were.
Tell me, guys, what happened? What? She smelled it. Or choking. No.
I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about like,
And she lost it.
I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. I had it. Those are my kids.
freaked out over the separation the whole time.
Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
And then you went back upstairs and she was...
Never, I could see, like, she was on top of me.
What, choking her or... Did she kill her?
They're blue.
Both of them?
Yeah.
She choked both of them to death.
I freaked out in the champagne. How was it? How was it though?
No, just...
I couldn't like call the cops about it.
So they wanted to do all the bodies off or something?
I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I freaked out. I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to do.
So she killed Lucy, Steve, and Bella, choked them to death. You lost it in the choke her or...
That's just rage. I hadn't... Like, in her heart, I know she knew about the affair. She just was waiting for me to say something and for me to deny it again. I think she was lost it.
That's when she went off and told her about it.
That's when the crying, like, happened and... What's gonna happen?
She lost it when we told her about her unraveling the other affair.
I didn't tell her how long, she just knew. She just knew. I could deny all I want, she just knew.
She said that she killed both of them over... Was it the separation or the affair?
Well, I think she just knew, like, the affair was happening, but I just denied it.
Don't you told her before on that about separation?
But, you know, she was hoping we'd go to counseling or something. I didn't want to go to counseling.
She lost it. And another separation. Did she break up the affair that morning too?
snapped. Yeah, you finally got a lawyer. See what you can do. Make the range.
What's that?
Woman.
Is it okay? You sure? Chris, help us work through this with you, okay? Will you tell us what you told your dad?
After that conversation. Water up there, son. No, you're fine. Yeah. After that conversation we had, and she accused me of the affair, she, in her heart, she knew what was going on. And she knew about the dinner the other night. It was too much for just me. She knew about what now? When I told her I went to a Rockies game. I went out to bed. I went downstairs. And that's when you told her about my separation? Well, that was when I was upstairs in bed. And told her, you know, what I wanted in the call of the separation. And that's what I want. I went downstairs and started packing up a few things. And I heard a couple of things upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. I continued this, you know, own thing and get ready to get everything packed up.
Next.
I went upstairs and I was going to talk to her again. And I saw on the monitor, Bella's covers were like pulled off and she was just laying there. She was just hot. Cycled over to CC. She was in there with her. On top of her. Choking her. Freaked out. I ran in there and got on top of her.
What'd you do?
She blew. Those are my babies. Those are my kids.
What happened?
That doesn't appear to hurt.
Who she knew? Where were you at?
Right there. I put her back in our bed. She ran.
Did you have bed? What happened next?
I don't know what to do. both my kids are blue and they're gone. And I'm just like blind, just, I'm not that person, like, just like, she hurt my kids. Like I did the same thing to her.
What happened after she was in your bed?
And there, I didn't know what to do. It was, pull the sheets back and just cover her up. Didn't know what to do.
Where are they now? To find your babies. Did the hard part. All you have left is details where they're at.
We can help you get them out of the cold.
They're gone. There's no bringing them back.
So where are they?
At that first location I went to that day.
Where at?
That's 3319.
Where at? That location.
Right there off the site. Right there.
How did you pick that site?
First site I was supposed to take them there.
So where would we find them there?
I didn't know what to do.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking do. Like none of this made sense. Why would she hurt my fucking girls?
So Chris, are they in something? Are they under the ground? Like, where would you find them? You take us out there?
There's no way I want to go out there. I mean, I will if you want me to. I don't want to go.
What if you and me and your dad just drove by and you could just say, right there, we could help you just get him out of the cold, you know, take care of him for the last time.
I'm sorry.
I know you are.
I know you are. I know you came in today to do the right thing. You didn't have to come in. You came in all on your own.
Don't take anything less than me.
What?
Just please don't take anything less than me.
was she doing to Cece?
She's just on top of her. My hands around.
Hands around what?
Her neck.
You saw it?
I saw it on the monitor.
Okay.
That's why I ran in there.
What'd she say?
Threw her off and saw Cece was already blue. She's not moving. And just that blind rage, I just did the same thing to her.
Did you ever go into Bella's room?
No. So put Shanann back in, that's no, when I saw her on the monitor, the way she was laying, the bed just sprawled out.
Is that when you packed up their special stuff? So where'd you put them? Get them out there.
In the truck.
Which part?
Driver's side rear.
In the passenger compartment?
Driver's side rear. Right behind my seat.
What were you thinking on the way out there?
And the babies are gone. And I put my hands around my wife's neck and did that same thing.
Did Shanann fight back at all when you did that?
The rage that I had after seeing that, like, not much.
How do you know Shanann was dead?
Smooth.
We looked on her Facebook page like 2 days ago. They had this like 4 or 5 foot long baby doll. She had it laying on the couch with a sheet over it.
She ended?
Yeah. Before any of this happened.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So I'm thinking that's not a plan. I don't know.
That's a very good point.
I can't see it now, but I'm blocked on there. If you look on their Facebook page.
What did it say, or what was the
It
caption?
said, what do you say to this? Something similar to that. And a tall baby doll about that tall was laying on one of her couches and had a sheet over it, across the head, all the way up. You can see his feet hanging out. Saying like Bella had done that. The kid went through that.
Do you remember that, Chris? What do you think?
Just make fun of it. Thought it was funny.
Did Bella do it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so. But I don't kids enough, I don't think she would do something like that. No, she'd have had their dolls and stuff out on the floor and just covering up waist, something like that, but no, covering her head and everything up like
Like what?
a body laying there or something.
It sounds like kind of,
I'm sorry, I lied to you. Command you. I mean, you knew what was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. You stayed for a reason.
Chris, you're a good man.
I'm not a good man.
Well, you stayed, you wanted to talk, you knew it was gonna be hard, and you still stayed, and that's what a good man does.
Stayed here for 6 hours and 11 minutes before.
Just staring you in the face.
We're glad you did.
I can see when the rage would come out and see, look, the kid's dead.
You don't know. You don't know when you look at you like about it. See it move.
I told you your dad still loves you, no matter what.
How could you let someone kiss somebody?
Hey, Chris.
Nothing will ever be the same again.
When you came in, was your wife on top of her right when you came in? So you saw it in person?
Because I saw the monitor, that's why I rushed in. So I went in there to talk to her again.
And when you came in, she was right there on top of
She
you?
was right there.
Okay.
Her hands on her throat.
She didn't know what to do.
Were you trying to save Cece?
Hard to glue her face. She wasn't moving. Her head's spinning over left like that.
So where did you put them out there, Chris? That's really important. In something, or they under something, in something.
I didn't know what else to do.
I know, so tell me what you did. I know.
I didn't know what else to do. I was so scared.
I know.
It's like my wife just did this, and I just did that. What do I do?
Right.
Anything that I would do from there was just going to be just insensitive and just a horrible thing.
You were in a tough spot. I mean, what can you do, right?
Sometimes your body just kind of takes over and... I'm looking at your dad here. Can you show us?
What's going to happen?
We're going to help him get out of there. Do you
Like, what?
Would you prefer that one of your coworkers?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
I cannot have that.
We're afraid something.
You said that you're about to become a good man. They're going to see this. You're like, what the fuck did you do, Chris? Like, what? Like, why did you just go to college to begin with?
Well, they weren't in your shoes. They don't know.
I don't.
They weren't living your life.
I know, but still, it's like...
People are
I
going to
can never, like...
We'll just go little steps at a time. How about that?
I can't have anybody show you out there, anybody, no coworkers, please.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going to form their own opinions anyways once they figure everything out anyway.
We'll just take little steps tonight then. How about that?
Yeah, do you have to have any of them with you?
No?
No. We prefer you.
Can you and me and Tammy and Ronnie get in the car and just drive out there?
Just general direction.
You just point it?
Take it from there.
Chris, I know they're gone, but they're still your babies, and you're still their dad.
You don't want them out there.
I don't want them out there.
you don't want someone else to find that out there. You don't, I promise you. Take us. You give us a second so we can kind of get some things arranged. Do that.
Ronnie, do you mind staying in here with him? What the fuck is this? This is just fucking horrible. The problem is I don't even know if they believe me or not.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to text my daughter after I go to my house before my wife finds out. This ain't gonna be on the news anytime soon, or is it?
No, not tonight. I can't imagine it's not now. I mean, I don't really have much say in that, but I can't see that. Do you want me to take you out to the lobby and you can go to the bathroom and then text your wife and stuff, talk to them?
You might want to go outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside.
Just watch the press people around.
Yeah, I'll see people out there while I go.
You want your water? You want to take your water with you?
Yeah.
We're going to try to do our best to make sure that we, we don't stand to gain anything by broadcasting any of this. That's not what law enforcement is ever really about. So we're going to try our best to handle that as discreetly as possible, but they're pretty good at what they do too.
So I'm not from, you're probably not from around here neither, are you?
I've only been here a few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a lawyer or something for, not a public defender, but somebody else.
We can talk about
that later.
Yeah.
Get your phone. You got it? Okay. Let's go this way. All right, we'll stop.
So if you're up for it, we'll talk a little bit more. I think we have a picture of, is it Survey 319? I think we have a picture. Kind of walk you through that. I'm sure you have a ton of questions for us about, how your night, month, and weekend's going to look. So Tammy, I was just telling him, I wanted to show him that picture.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about how the rest of the night's going to go.
That looks familiar to you? What is that?
It's the PRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
How old is this picture?
Today.
That's today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? I think it's the paper, it's just gonna be the S for Shanann, okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Chanel was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably blew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here, but
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
it's a shovel in the back of my truck. It's always that.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? How was Shanann dressed?
Shirt and underwear.
So what she got into bed with? Do you remember what color her shirt was or her underwear?
I think her shirt was either black or gray. Underwear was probably blue.
How much time passed, do you think, from the time that she was back in the bed until you put them in the truck? Are we talking minutes, hours, something else?
From when I left the house.
No, like from when you got her into bed to when you put them in the truck. How long a time was that?
So like from when put Shane in my truck, from the bed to the truck.
Yeah, from your master bed to the truck, yeah.
Minutes.
Okay. Because you talked about covering her up or something.
Yeah. And the sheet.
Is there anything else about anything out here that has stuff that you've left in certain spots, or you sure their blankets and toys aren't going to be in there as well?
Not because it was right here with that sheet.
Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just going to write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything, just underwear? Okay. Do you remember what they looked like?
Blue.
Okay. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
They're both nightgowns.
Okay.
Celeste, I think, was that pink one with the like curves on it.
Okay.
I think Bella's was their unicorn or believe on it or something.
Okay. So it sounds like, it feels like to me, now we know pretty well how to go get them. Is there anything else we need to know?
About how to get them?
Yeah. Does someone have to climb up to the top and unscrew something and then lower something down to get them?
They're like, it's just a hatch from the top, and they're like 20-foot tanks.
How far down are they?
wherever the fluid level was in the tank, I'm not sure.
Okay. What was it when you were there?
I don't know, I didn't,
Okay.
I wasn't looking for that.
Okay. All right.
You may go out there or no?
I don't think so. Would you prefer not to?
I didn't know if you needed help getting there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew, but it sounds like they knew somehow right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam? Do you have a nanny cam, right?
It's a monitor.
Baby monitor. Is it a video one?
It's like it cycles back and forth.
Between what?
Bella and Cece's room.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No? Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think ultimately made Shanann snap?
Just knowing that I had an affair, and she knew, she just needed me to admit it, and I would admit it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just started talking about, I asked him if there's any chance that the nanny cam could have recorded Shanann doing what she did. And then we were just getting into, what Chris thinks about why she snapped. He's just saying, distress from knowing about the other girl.
Knowing, but she didn't really know, right? I mean,
In her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? I think we need to get it out of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear just commotion upstairs, just like little noises like that.
Okay.
I didn't think anything of it.